Yo, listen, Platinum on the mic, and I'm coming for your ass. I'm listening to the Bob Culture Podcast, and I think it's the hottest show in the game, because them and everybody loves the acclaim. Now, scissor me.
Before we get started, I want to shout out our sponsors here on the BCP. As always, the BCP is brought to you by our favorite store, Funkenstein Wrestling Superstore, located online and at the Englishtown Flea Market in Englishtown, New Jersey, on Saturdays and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the Blue Building. Get your wrestling stuff, retro video games, G.I. Joes, Ninja Turtles, Ghostbusters. It's our favorite store. Thank you, Heather and Dan, for sponsoring the show. Guys, we also want to welcome in our new sponsors, Warriors of Wrestling. WOW brings the action to Breezy Point, New York on August 26th for our next event, Payback, featuring appearances by Darius Carter, TJ Marconi, Chris Steeler, Joe Ocasio, and more. Tickets are available now at warriorsofwrestling.com, and be sure to subscribe on YouTube. Please welcome in our new sponsor, Mania Club. Established in 2015, Mania Club is a WWE-recognized community for fans with an eclectic love for both the world of professional wrestling and raising money for Connor's Cure. During WrestleMania weekend, we host the official tailgate of WrestleMania while also celebrating the life of Connor McCulloch. They're the single largest donor within the V Foundation for Connor's Cure, with over $150,000 raised. Please donate and join the Facebook group over at Mania Club. Donate at jimmyv.org/Mania Club. The BCP is also sponsored by the No Gimmicks Podcast, the pro wrestling podcast that keeps it 100% real 100% of the time. The No Gimmicks Podcast is available wherever you get your podcast. Shout out Kelvin. Check out the No Gimmicks Podcast. We're also sponsored by our friends over at Global Wrestling Family. GWF is about inclusivity and celebrating a common love for pro wrestling amongst the fans and wrestlers. T-shirts, hats, and more merch is available now. Join the group on Facebook at Global Wrestling Family, and be sure to follow them on Instagram at Global Wrestling Family. Wrestling All Day, All Night is the best wrestling discussion group on Facebook. We provide more of a community feel here and have wrestling fans introduce other fans to something they may have not seen before, such as old school wrestling, indie wrestling, Japanese wrestling, and more. We also strive to be a source for information regarding upcoming wrestler meet and greets and signings. And remember, we're open 24/7, all day, all night. Be sure to follow on socials and join the group on Facebook at Wrestling All Day, All Night.
Hello, I'd like to welcome you to paradise, where everyone is riding on a satellite, sending signals, praying for miracles. We should have seen this coming. Hear me out, because I'm only gonna say this one more time. Hear me out, and open your eyes and take a look at all the signs. You think I'm crazy, but I'm not the only one. Call me crazy. I've been thinking maybe we are not alone. Call me crazy. I've been thinking lately it's been the same way all along.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a very special AEW All In Predictions Panel episode of the BCP. Guys, please welcome back to the show our all-star panel. I got to welcome this guy in first because I just told him I listened to his show multiple times throughout the week. This guy is great. I love his analysis. I am very excited about his predictions, his opinions. We're going to get some stats. Please welcome back to the show from the Mr. Warren Hayes Show. Mr. Warren Hayes, what's up, bro? How are you, man? Welcome back.
I'm doing great. Thank you again for having me. It's AEW pay-per-view season, so you know the Bob Culture Podcast is always on my list of destinations. And thank you for having me again. I don't know why you listen to my show multiple times a week. It doesn't change. I record one show, so even if you listen to it over and over again, it's still the same show, Bob. But I appreciate it. Thank you very much for my analytics love it.
Love it. Hey, that's right, man. No, we got the collision review. We had some G1. Okay. We got all the stuff. And guys, seriously, all joking aside, I know I tend to blow up the guests, but when I'm doing a lot of driving, especially on the weekends, listen to Mr. Warren Hayes show. Go check it out on YouTube. Shameless promo and wherever you get your podcast. And guys, please welcome back to the show. Let me get the scroll out because she works everywhere. She is ready for this predictions panel. She's Maria Kanellis' personal protege. She works for the popbreak.com. She's part of the BCP. She's known from Kimmy Talks Wrestling. The list goes on and on. We do commentary together. There's so many things. Kimmy, we don't got time. We got a long pay-per-view. How are you tonight?
Oh, we do commentary together? I didn't know. That's crazy. I didn't know that one. That's new. Yeah, I'm going to Chicago next week, Rob. Isn't that crazy?
One would say you might be going all out for that trip.
Well, when the doctor calls, your presence is needed.
Oh, okay. A little DMD. Well, Kimmy, thank you for staying up, making the time. And guys, please welcome back to the show. You know him as lay editor-in-chief of the popbreak.com. Hashtag Dad Bodkin. Hashtag Dad Instincts. Our good friend, Mr. Bill Bodkin. What's up, bro?
Welcome, my friends. It's the time of year. Because like all out, all in. It's a great time to end summer. Fall is around the corner. Halloween, pumpkin spice. It's getting autumnal out, and when things get autumnal, that means blood, violence, swearing, and pro wrestling. So let's fucking go.
Let's do this. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for staying up and doing this podcast with us. Guys, I am hyped. There's so much to talk about. Let's talk about a match that was made official tonight. It's going to be for the AEW World Trios Championship match. The House of Black taking on the Acclaimed and the returning Billy Gunn. Warren, I'm not worthy, man, for having you here, man. I want to know how you feel about this because you have on your show been somewhat critical of some of the stuff the Acclaimed have been doing. I'm interested to see what you think about this matchup here.
Well, I mean, critical in the sense that, like, I acknowledge that it's not for me, right? Like the Acclaimed, it's just not for me, but it's working. You know, that's the things. Like, ultimately, yeah, I will never fault the Acclaimed for getting themselves over like they did from being a legitimate prelim act, just getting the tar beat out of them week after week into developing this act that they have together. And by the way, two singles guys that were thrown together, right? Like Tony Khan was like, you guys are going to be a tag team. Oh, it's like, and they decided to make this work. And the everything they did continued to connect. They do the scissoring thing. They do the whole angle with the guns that just put them into it. They're one of the most overacting acts in the company, and I can't fault them for that. And I understand, I can appreciate that. But the nonsense is not for me. That's not why I watch pro wrestling, and that's all right. But they're getting themselves over, and it's working, and I can't fault them for this. I think we all saw the Billy Gunn return thing coming a mile away. We've all watched pro wrestling before. I think we all saw this coming. Nonetheless, it was awesome to hear the pop that he got on Dynamite when he didn't make his return. And, it's going to be a nice feel-good moment for him and for AEW fans everywhere when the Acclaimed win the Trios titles at Wembley Stadium this Sunday, live on pay-per-view. There's no other outcome for this, right? That's what they said they were going to do. They were going to try and give Billy one last run with gold. However, it would be funny as hell if the House of Black retained. Like, that would be the most spectacular troll of all time. But I think, sometimes the easiest, the best stories are the simplest. It's a feel-good moment. Everyone's going to explode. And you know what? Billy Gunn deserves one more shot in the limelight. Let's go. Let's do it.
I love it, man. I'm going to agree with you. I think this is going to be an amazing match. Like you said, we saw the Billy Gunn thing coming from a mile away, but I'm okay with it. The fans were certainly okay with it tonight. I think just in terms of the competitors in the ring, the 3-on-3, we have a really good match here. This is going to be some good work rate. This is going to be some good tandem offense. This is going to be some good storytelling. I think the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory was one of our matches of the year last year. It was amazing. I thought they should have called it in the ring and had the Acclaimed win, I want to say in Chicago, wherever it was. So I want this to kind of be the moment. And selfishly, that's what I wanted to see. I think Warren said it perfectly. It's a no-brainer to do this with that kind of crowd. Don't miss the moment. That being said, I really enjoy what House of Black has been doing with those trios championships. I wouldn't mind if they retained. I don't want to see them retain. Just selfishly, I want to see the Acclaimed win. But what they've been doing with that, I like you always have like that stipulation. I think that's very different and interesting when they have challengers. That being said, I think, the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn, rightfully so, deserve this one. Kimmy, are you in agreement with me and Warren, or are you going the other way?
This feud has been too long. Needs to stop. The Acclaimed are going to win. And can we please move on from this feud that has stretched out for like 3 months for no reason?
I'll give you that it played out, but I think this is the right arena for it. And I think this is the perfect, and this is just my opinion. I think this is the perfect spot for them to be in for those trios championships. I think these are perfect. I don't think this was forced together. But like you said, it may have dragged out a little bit, but I think this is the perfect platform for it to be. I'm excited for this one. Let's go from Daddy Arse to Daddy Bill.
That's still Daddy Arse, don't worry. But we're not getting Daddy Ass. We're getting badass Billy Gunn. We're going to see a different Billy Gunn this time. I would not be shocked if the Acclaimed and Billy win the titles and Billy says, I'm going to call this a career. And then he leaves. His last match is Wembley Stadium. And then it's the search for the third man for the Acclaimed. I wouldn't mind it being Hook or someone who's not doing anything right now. But I mean, the Acclaimed they are the New Age Outlaws. I mean, that's who they are. Mm-hmm. They're fun. And House Black, I gotta say, like, they're awesome, but Malachi Black, like, never wrestles ever. I would love to have his contract to just show up, look spooky, and then like go home, but I think it's time to let those guys go a little bit. Like, I want to see Brody and Buddy do a little bit more on solo runs, and I think you could do that and have some good stuff, still keep the House of Black, but maybe have them some moving parts with challenging for the international title, doing some the TNT title, do some different stuff, just to mix up the card just a little bit. That's what I hope we see out of this. And so it's going to be, as Rob would say, his famous cut and paste.
Love it. Very well said. Let's keep it moving here. Lots of matches to get to. Kimmy, is there a match that you're particularly excited about, or is there a storyline that you're invested in? You pick the next one, because I forget everything.
So we're going to talk about my friend Britt Baker, right? Like right now?
Take the helm. What do you got?
So, in a fatal 4-way, which, guys, by the way, that happened at the first All In. There was another fatal 4-way women's match. So we have the champion Sheeta versus Saraya versus Toni Storm versus my very good friend Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who will walk in and have 80,000 people screaming her name so excitedly. But she's sadly going to lose because Saraya is going to win in her hometown, and I'm going to be upset.
And yeah, I think that's the favorable pick of Saraya to win this one. I'm again, another match I'm really excited for. I think these are 4 of the right women to be in this match, in this position. I love the title being back on Hikaru Shida. I love that, Britt is in this match, obviously a heavy favorite. The stuff that Toni Storm has been doing has been really, really brilliant. It's just something different and fresh. I'm enjoying it personally. And then, obviously, like Kimmy said, got to go to Saraya. Would she be the one to win here in the hometown this moment? And obviously the story of her coming back from injury, getting another chance. I mean, I feel if you don't have her win here, this is maybe a possible biggest miss of the night. And again, she doesn't have to win, 25% chance women's match for the title. But man, with this crowd, with the history, like we said with the other match, man, I'm going to pick all the favorites to win here. And I'm going to pick all the moments, which I shouldn't do. But I feel like you miss big if you don't have Saraya here. Warren, I am defaulting to you, bro, man. Tell me what's going to happen here, bro.
No, I'll tell you, brother, what's going to happen.
Well, something, brother. Let me tell you something going on there.
The Silver Dome.
Well, let me tell you, brother. I'm very down on women's wrestling in North America right now. I think no one is doing a good job. I don't think anyone is doing a good job right now. I know you're kidding. The symptoms are there, and there's a lot of problems. There was, look, I don't want to get into all of it, but I'm finding myself having difficulty getting excited for this, despite the fact that there are wrestlers in this match that I really like, and Toni Storm is probably one of my favorite wrestlers right now. Yeah. And she's been a workhorse for the company. She's been absolutely phenomenal. And she's doing absolutely phenomenal work with her Joan Crawford period. She is just outstanding, coming out like on Dynamite and, in the negligee, but goes like, no, I got to go backstage. I'm so depressed. I can't be here. It's like, she is outstanding. And everything should point to her, like getting her title back, because it would be fantastic. But again, I really like this character. I don't want it to stop. But I'm with Kimmy. I think Saraya is winning here because, look, there has to be a logic. There has to be something in a couple of weeks before the show, having Toni Storm drop her title to Shida, and Shida's coming in as champion. There's got to be a reason there to sort of not have an outcast defeat another outcast, like outright, like take the title from another person in the group and give it to Saraya, kind of thing. And I'm a guy. I am a huge Britt Baker guy. I do not understand the levels of dislike that this woman gets when she is a bona fide superstar.
Exactly.
Someone who elevated herself. But during the whole era of once they realized that the babyface thing wasn't turning, she took that ball and they tried to take it away from her. They tried to scrape it out of her hands week after week, and they just can't do it. Britt pops up, gets enormous reactions. She's murderous on the mic. She's a fine pro wrestler. There's better pro wrestlers in the company. That I'll concede, but it doesn't matter. She's a spectacular pro wrestler. This is someone, we talk about Shida carrying the company on her back during the pandemic. Britt Baker is the fucking division. And she should win at Wembley. She should get the 82,000 people plus going, woo, and doing the DMD
she's
thing
mean,
while she
dude.
wins.
But she's mean.
Oh, she's so mean. She has heat with so many people. Thunder Rosa didn't like her. Like, Jesus Christ, come on, all right? Like, it's a fucking wrestling locker room. Let's just get real, people. And these are people protecting their spots. This is just it. Anyway. I think Saraya's winning, though. And Saraya's a bit of I think she's a bill of goods. I think Toni was buying into something and sort of realized, whoopsie daisy, I'm not exactly getting what was advertised here. I thought it was getting Amazon Saraya, and I'm getting Wish Saraya kind of thing, because, no, but for real, I don't think she's shaken off the WWE style. AEW fans expect work rate from their women. I don't know if it's injury related, which could be. I mean, to be fair, but I think your world champion should be able to deliver in the ring, and I haven't seen that from Saraya in AEW at all. And she's been there for the better part of a year now.
It'll be a year in September.
There you go. Well, close to then. I think it's a moment. It's a circumstantial victory here, but there's much better candidates in this match. I would be thrilled if Britt won. Don't get me wrong. I would be absolutely thrilled to the gills, and I couldn't care less about the meltdown on X that would follow. I couldn't give a shit. Britt
Warren
is the star of the show.
Warren, you've never had a meltdown on X before, have you?
Oh, of course, I'm way above that. What are we talking about?
But Warren,
no, I meant during your rave days.
Yeah. Warren, your official pick is Saraya as well.
Yes, officially, I'm going with Saraya.
But and you feel it should be. I think I love me some Warren Hayes, man. I'm going to stop blowing you up. But so we have Saraya across the board. Bill, are you on the same page?
Fuck off. I just want to address a couple things Warren said. I don't think one thing, she's been in the company for a year, Saraya, I'm referring to. I feel like she's only had 5 matches. I feel like she hasn't had enough in ring to really do much. However, from what I've I've read and all this other stuff, like she still draws when it regards to ratings. People are still popping for her, and I think it's the feel good story here for her to win. I agree. The match here is Jamie Hayter, who unfortunately got robbed of this. You know what I mean? And there was about 4 other women's matches you could have made instead of this 4-way. You could have had a Jamie Hayter title match, a couple others, and the card fills out a lot better. However, AEW just has that luck of the snake bite with the injuries, and they've always had it. It's been their thing since day one. I think there's an interesting way you could go with this story. I don't think Saraya either has a very short run with the title, or she is going to have a very ceremonial, I will defend this once every 30 days type deal until a Jamie Hayter, until a Thunder Rosa, until somebody comes back that AEW deems as this is the gal who's going to take it off of her. And I think that's what's going to happen. I mean, maybe the short run wouldn't be the best idea. I think having her being that, well, you've got to get through Tony and Ruby first before you get to me. I'll defend it when I feel like defending it, because you go from the outcasts to royalty, because she is now the queen of AEW, all bow down to the queen. There's interesting ways you can make the character of Saraya a good champion without her having to be in the ring to be over. So I think that's what they have to do, and I think she's going to go over, and I think she'll get that big baby face reaction, and she'll get booed out of Chicago.
Sounds about right.
Good stuff. I'm looking at where I'm going to go next here. Let's talk about.
I was going to say we're recording this, so you can't be looking at the chat.
Oh no! I ain't looking at the chat. I don't know what you're talking about.
I think you're like.
This is live noon at.
It's like Mike
Thursday.
Mueller in the chat saying Bill Bodkin's an idiot. I was like, well, yeah, of course. I love Mike. I don't know. Just kidding.
Let's go. Eddie Kingston, Penta, and Best Friends versus the Blackpool Combat Club with Santana and Ortiz in the Stadium Stampede match. Bill, I'm going to boomerang it right back to you, because you know what I'm going to say. You know my feelings on and you know what? I'm glad everyone gets to wrestle. I really am glad everyone gets to be a part of this show.
I hate factions. Factions are the worst. Just leave it at the door. It's been here for almost 4 years. This is what they do. To me, there's so many stories you can tell. Literally, so what I thought at one point, it was like they're going to have 6 people, and what they're going to do is Best Friends are going to recruit Chris Statlander, and then Blackpool is going to be like, fuck you, Eddie Kingston. We got Ruby Soho, your buddy. And the whole Stadium Stampede is the battle for the soul of Eddie Kingston, which every Eddie Kingston match should be about. It's just the battle for his soul. He could be fighting Serpentico, still about his soul. This is going to be so much fun. It's going to be absolutely bonkers. Blackpool Combat Club for the win. There's too many guys on Team Best Friends that eat pins all the time. So it's Chuck or Trent, or even Eddie will take one of them take it. But I love the fact that we got Santana and Ortiz back. And they already have built-in stories with Eddie Kingston and other people. AEW gets a huge win for such a big roster. That tag team division is lacking, and those guys coming back is such a huge get. I think this is just I think people might be sleeping on this a little bit, and don't for 1 second think we're not going to get a Bryan Danielson in the box somewhere, because he's apparently there, and that guy could have one eye hanging out of his face, and he's like, literally has, and he's like, I'm going to do something in this. He will be somebody's weapon on the Blackpool Combat Club. But this is all going to boil down to two matches, Mox and Orange, and then Mox and Eddie. And I don't think we get Mox and Eddie right away. I feel like this has got to be. I know people don't like long and drawn out sometimes, but I just want promos for months between Mox and Eddie, just tearing into each other. Renee just being all just hassled and just like, why am I involved in this bullshit? This RJ City's consoling her on the pre-show. This is the shit I live for. Eddie Kingston is the fucking man, but his team's gonna lose.
Kimmy, I got a lot of opinions on this. Kimmy, let me throw it to you first.
I love when we disguise the Ring of Honor World Champion. Because that man not on Ring of Honor TV. Because he's distracted. Which is why he should have lost the Ring of Honor title. But I can't have what I want, sadly. So, unfortunately, the BCC is going to win. And Claudio, please come to Ring of Honor and defend your freaking title. So
he did
we can have a
weeks
viable.
ago. He had a great match with Hawk a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
You want him to defend it every week against?
Yes, I do.
It's not a fucking
I would
TV
like him to
title. It's
show
the
up
world championship. You don't get the world champion. Hogan never wrestled on television. You had to pay for Hogan.
I know. I was pissed. He was never a superstars.
He was yes, and on Saturday Night Main Event.
Motherfucker.
Well, first of all, you're all old. Second of all, I would love if our world champion could show up at least cut a promo. Because before Death Before Dishonor, that man was not there. And that's a fact.
But it's after Death Before Dishonor now.
But still,
he cut a nice promo. There. He was in a suit. He wears a nice suit.
Strapping gentleman. A very strapping gentleman.
It's like Jason Statham. He's Jason Statham adjacent.
He's a Swiss Superman, I've been told.
Yes, I've heard that.
What we do.
I think you have a lot to say. I'm going to run through this real quick. Kimmy, I think you do bring up a fair point. You know, it is a world champ. That was the question I brought to him, and I hope it didn't come off as disrespectful. I felt that there were a lot of moving parts. And I said, you are a world champion. You know, how are you able to balance all this? Gave a great answer, but I think that is a fair concern. I think he is, you know, a world champion and should be perhaps in a marquee one-on-one match on this particular show. That's, you know, to be debated. And Warren, I think you bring up a great point. You know, he is a world champion, can't be fighting every week doing all this. I famously, as Bill said, I am not a fan of, I like certain factions, but the factionism upon factionism. Welcome back, Santana and Ortiz. Great to see them back.
You mean you hate friends? You hate wrestlers who have friends?
I'm a bad man.
You're a fucking heel. You're just let you be friends.
I'm a very anti-friends. Although Ross Geller was great. Love
that show.
Real quick, the Ray Phoenix pivot. You know, I'm sure everyone knows, you know, right into that. I don't want to get into that too much. Had to call some audibles on this one. Fine, whatever. I'm not going to talk about the Stadium Stampede aspect. I want to throw that to Warren because he had some great things on his show about that. I'm going to leave that to him. The backstage segment with, well, first of all, the Ray Phoenix thing going into the read for DraftKings. First of all, Excalibur does a great job, but again, we're selling the injury and he's doing like the somber DraftKings read, and he like great. I do commentary, like you have to do some stuff and keep it moving, and that was tough, man. Like I don't mean to laugh, but like awesome. The somber draft, like save it for after the next commercial break or after the Renee interviews, and then the Renee interview and Renee MVP. No disrespect, just the order of segments. Renee, the backstage with Eddie Kingston. Great segment. Loved Eddie swatting the mic down. She was great in that, like, you know, trying to do her job and like getting awkward. Like I thought she knocked that out of the park. But then they go to earlier today with Renee, and it doesn't flow. It's like we got to get the stuff in real quick and just change the order. Put that DraftKings read somewhere else. That was tough.
Right there.
But I digress.
I would love to meet whoever made that call and shake their hand and be like, "You ballsy son of a bitch." What a fucking, because I would have done that shit too. I'm like, you're gonna read DraftKings right after this because fuck you. That's why.
The somber DraftKings, but anyway,
he's doing Owen Hart voice, you know, and then commercial, and then he comes back and he's still in that tone, he's still in that mood. You're like,
it's not his fault.
That's pro wrestling. That's the most pro wrestling thing. You could only get away with that if he's doing the read, and it's like. Man, it's fantastic. But what a great! I love the angle. What a great stretcher job too. Like that was just fantastic. It was just good stuff. What are we talking about?
I want to hear. Yeah, I want to. And I got Blackpool Combat Club. I want to hear. I'm sorry, I was complaining so much. I want to hear what Warren has to say. I loved what you said on your show about the aspect of this match.
Criticism is not complaining because criticism always comes from a place of love. Complaining comes from a place of hatred. Those are two different things.
Oh, he hates factions. I mean,
I'm bad man.
He's just like it's like vegetables, factions growing a mustache.
You hate vegetables?
No,
mustaches.
Oh yeah, he famously will only keep the chin strap.
Jeez.
He will never grow in a mustache. I can
All right, Warren, what do you got, man?
I'm looking. I look. These are all people that I really like. I am. The Blackpool Combat Club has been systematically the best thing in AEW, like the most consistently great thing since Bryan Danielson got together with John Moxley and William Regal came out to slap some shit into both of them. Like from that point on, that has just been nothing but it's been the most compelling stuff. I love every single moment of it. So I love the faction. I love what they're doing here. All guys that I like. The only thing I'm worried about, just a wee bit worried, that Stadium Stampede is a pandemic era thing that they put together because they needed to do stuff. There weren't on any crowds, so they pre-tape a bunch of, goofy shit and stuff happening and people resurrecting in swimming pools and, Hangman running around with a horse. That will always be fantastic. Oh, yeah. But, that kind of stuff. And that's the only thing I'm worried about. That I'm hoping that we're getting an anarchy in the arena in sheep's clothing. Does that make sense? Something live where they're fighting around, an enormous stadium that they're calling it Stadium Stampede because it is a stadium, right?
Yeah, I think that's why.
But I think so too. So that's why I'm not going really hard on this, but I do have that reservation where it's like, if they pre-tape stuff and there's 82,000 hooligans having to watch television for 20 minutes, that's not going to go over well. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to go over well with me either. But I'm assuming that we're going down the road of this, and I hope Eddie Kingston has a callback with the gas can. That's something that I would love to see. And I hope he actually
it would be petrol. It would be petrol.
Petrol. We're correct, sir.
Yeah.
But can I? And just really quickly, I think here, one thing I think that we have to keep in mind in regards to the show is that, yes, there are singles matches, there are big matches, but there's going to be some stuff that is going to be set up for All Out, which is the week after. And I think Orange Cassidy and John Moxley is going to be one of these things. And that's why I also think that the Blackpool Combat Club are probably going to, this is the finish I'd like. This is the finish I'd like. John Moxley just beats the shit out of Orange Cassidy and pins him. He'd be the first guy to pin him in months, right? And then what does that do? Secures a title shot, and then we get Mox and Cassidy at All Out, and I'd be super down for it. I think that's an underrated match that not enough people are chomping at the bit to see. Me too. Orange Cassidy's having a career year. It's ridiculous. He's fantastic. So that's what I kind of hope what's going to happen. BCC wins with specifically John Moxley pinning the international champion. And then we fly back to Chicago. We have the one-on-one. That's what I'm hoping for.
I just want to bring up one point. I agree I like Bust on Kimmy about Ring of Honor. But it's just like Claudio, he should be defending the Ring of Honor championship more often to elevate that title. But when I look at Claudio in general, we see a guy who was a career mid-card, do nothing guy to he is a top, and I think this card is kind of indicative, or there's like, this is WWE, blah, blah, whatever. There's people who've been signed from there who have now become the core, who have become main players and are in front of 82,000 people. It's Swerve, it's Claudio, it's Tony Storm. There's some other people in there that have just become these ultra reliable upper mid card to main event stars that I don't think they were ever going to peak out of. And there will be, conversely, people in the same realm in AEW who eventually will go elsewhere, see Cody Rhodes, who will do that there. But I just think the way AEW has positioned Claudio, because I think there was a lot of doubts that, like, well, what's he really going to do there? I think that he has become the star we always thought he was going to be. Now just put him in the fucking G1 and we'll all be happy.
He liked this time in Japan. He really liked it when he went with Mox.
And have him defend the ROH title more just to make Kimmy happy.
Exactly.
He needs
in New Japan.
Oh my God, it makes all the sense in the world.
I'm gonna get my complaining out of the way here because I honestly I really am very excited for this pay-per-view. There's so many things I like. It is called a pay-per-view still at this, right? Darby Allin and Sting versus Swerve Strickland and Christian Cage, I believe, in a coffin match. That is official. Very interesting. Kimmy, I'm trying not to rant here. Kimmy, save me on this one.
This is such a waste of time. Should have been Sting versus Darby. This should have been Sting's send-off. I can't have nice things, Bill. I can't have joy. Sting and Darby are obviously going to win. Why do we put Christian here? I have no idea.
Wow, I know why.
I also know why, but we'll keep that for you. But Sting and Darby are obviously going to win in a waste of a time match. They could have put a all-female battle royal in this spot instead.
I mean, we could have both.
We could have both.
Yeah, I mean, like we could definitely have both. Actually, I would love a multi-woman elimination match because that gives more people time to shine. But I don't agree with this being a waste of time at all. Like, I understand that Sting and Darby, like, we were like, let's see them fight, and we may at one day. But on Tony Khan's press call, like, he loves Sting, and he will allow Sting to wrestle till he's 90. He really will, if he wants. So to be able to have, and the Sting and Darby thing is like, they're so close as friends. Like, that's a story you have to build. And I think this has been a pretty solid build for Swerve and Darby. Like, we've had this since the jump with AEW. Like, it's been great. Yeah. And you know what? Swerve, like, he looks like a middle linebacker now. He's huge. And we all know why they put Christian here. Because we have to get the requisite, hey, Nick Wayne, heard you got a dead dad. And I was like, fuck, Christian Cage better not ever meet me. Because it's like, yikes. But I believe there was the AR Fox thing, might have been a visa thing. Like, much like the Ray Phoenix thing was. The rumor and innuendo.
Can I clarify something?
Sure.
I want to clarify something,
please,
because I'm sick of the visa excuses.
Well, that's what I'm just.
I'm
here for got this. It right. They should have fixed it.
I'm here
regardless.
For this, I'm here. No,
listen. This is important because we had the same discussion with Forbidden Door, right? Visas, right? As a performer and entertainer, coming into work in Canada, you do not need a visa. So I went and I checked the UK, the UK standards. Well, it turns out as an entertainer, a performer, you do not need a work visa to go in. So this is the default thing that everyone goes back to, because Japan is tricky. This is true. And there's a lot of things that default when we talk about Japanese wrestlers coming over. Yes, now that requires a little more finagling. But you could go to the UK and say, "Oh yeah, I'm a backup singer in this band," and they'll be like, "All right, sweet. As long as you don't stay over a month, there's regulations, but and you have to bring proof that you're employed for this thing and that it has economic repercussions in the UK. But nothing that." The owner of Fulham couldn't be able to provide for his people. So the whole thing about visas, they didn't get his visas. It's bullshit. There's other reasons. There's other reasons for sure. I don't know what they are. I have suspicions.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, because it's visas is the code word for maybe they're not allowed in the country.
Their Hardy Boys ain't going to Wembley, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. As Rob's like,
no, it's interesting you say the band thing too, Warren. And again, I do not know the correct information. I know that I had gone, and I don't want to get into this too much, but I know that I had gone from Cleveland. I played in Cleveland. I had a drum set in my car and instruments. I drove to Canada through the border, and we got stopped and searched for everything. And what do you do? Oh, I teach instrument, I teach music. I play in a band, and they weren't cool with it, and I had to talk to them or whatever. So I don't know if I wasn't working there. I want to see Niagara Falls, but so
they didn't let you cross.
They did, but we had a long discussion.
But they're going to ask you.
Was it again,
was it at gunpoint? No, probably not.
No.
Just want to know.
They were shaking moose at Atlanta.
I was waiting for. They gave us syrup. Yeah. We get. We're not doing the Canada jokes. I listen to your podcast. I'm not doing it. Warren,
do the fucking Canada jokes.
We love Canada.
I'm gonna go there.
So I'm so all over the place. Did we get an official?
No,
pick,
we didn't.
Bill? Please.
No, we didn't. Please. So I think.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I went off on a tangent because I got triggered because of the visa talk.
But I look at this. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. You got to have Sting, and I think Darby will be Sting's final. That's it. I'm done match, and I think this means Sting isn't done yet. I don't know. People have said, "Well, when's he ever going to get a bigger match?" Well, maybe he wants to work with his second son. Who the fuck knows? Sting could do whatever the hell he wants. Maybe he wants to retire in fucking Venice Beach, California. I don't know. Maybe he wants to retire in Georgia. Cool. But he doesn't want to face Darby, most likely. So that's probably not why it's going to happen. And Kimmy, you're right. That's the money match. That is the match to put money in the bank. However, I don't think this will be boring. I do think Sting and Darby win. I think this is going to be a predictable card. Why? Because it's 82,000 people. Just make everyone happy, except for the main event.
You have to make everyone happy because you want these 82,000 people. Then when you start running shows back there in smaller venues, you want them to all to come back.
Yeah.
You want them when it's like,
yeah. So you want, and it's going to make for good television when everyone's really happy. Apparently the advanced buys are huge on this show too. And so listen, 82,000 people on their feet cheering for Sting. That's the moment you are going to want to have.
Very quickly, I want to keep it moving before I throw it to Warren. Very quickly, Bill, within the world of feasible matches, because Sting's one of your favorites, who would you like to see Sting fight as his final match?
Goldberg.
You go right to hell, sir. you just turn the fuck around and go to hell. Right now, I mean, ultimately, if he had been younger, you would want it. We got the last Sting Ric Flair match in WCW. Ultimately, that's his greatest rival, and they had that final match on the final Nitro, and you should never the twain shall meet. It has to be Darby. It has to be, especially given how personal their relationship has become. He has been intrinsically tied to Sting. The only other match that would have kind of sort of made sense would have been Cody because of Sting's relationship with Dusty. But I think given Darby and what happened with him, I think that's the Kimmy was right. That's the big match you do. And I think I think you build a whole show around this is Sting's final match. It's Darby. You give it, hell, you even make it the whole show. You make it a 2-hour Dynamite of just Sting's farewell.
That's kind of, where I stand, where, when people are like, well, why isn't he retiring here? Maybe Sting is like, hey, you know what? Maybe we could just make this all about me. And that's fine. Because first of all, wrestlers all have egos. This is cool. Sure. I'm okay with this.
I know what you're talking about. Second of all, how dare you?
Wow, that was vicious.
And second of all, if there's a guy who deserves a retirement show to himself, it's Mr. Borden. I'm sorry to tell you, it's like, if there's one guy that no one can, that this, the main event is this, no one's going to bitch about it. No one's going to, no. In fact, I think it's a good idea to keep it off of Wembley, which is already like a thing in and about itself. It would have just been one more thing in this bigger thing, whereas Sting retiring is just its own big thing. But as it pertains to the match, though, I am not a fan of the angle they ran tonight. Because I
wanted you to go before me because I want to hear what you had to say. Yeah,
I think there was a way to keep AR Fox off of the show without invalidating this great heel turn that he's been in, because he and Swerve have been fantastic. Lucha Underground lives on forever, bro. And I mean, and he's been extraordinary. Why are we cutting this? Like, keep him off the show. Let him eat shit. Let him do a stretcher job or whatever. You know what I mean? We already saw one. Don't do 2 stretcher jobs in the same show. My point being is that, Swerve could have just been like, hey, you know what? I'm going to bring someone in, that to help me out. Someone who has beef with Darby too. surprise, surprise, it's Christian Cage, right? It could have been just that. We could have done so many different things. And, my haunts, my places I hang out, we were told there were multiple pitches sent to one Anthony Khan, and he picked this one, which is arguably the worst one that he had, apparently. This is the one he decided to go for, them turning on Swerve. I mean, I like the idea of then turning on Fox, excuse me. I like the idea of Swerve just being a completely evil, remorseless person where he's just like, bro, this was a test. You screwed up. Bonk. It's like, it fits in his personality, but so soon when it was just picking up steam, when I think everyone agreed that this AR Fox turn was fantastic and it was doing so much good for his career. Now he's back to shaking hands with Darby. Boo. Yeah, there was another way to do this. There was another way to keep him off the card. I think they chose the worst possible outcome.
Unless it's all a Swerve.
Oh boy, that's pun disputed.
Now we're getting into Vince Russo territory. If then AR Fox was playing you all along. It's like, no, all right.
Yeah. And this is why I wanted you to go first, War, because I wanted to see if it wasn't just me, but I think you said it perfectly. And we've seen a lot in AEW, the quick double turn, not even the double turns, but the quick double turns, a quick turnaround. I could go on and on, but I think the way they did it, like you said, Swerve kind of saying this is a test, really unexpectedly ditching AR Fox. Prince Nana was great in the segment. I thought Prince Nana was amazing. But so Darby they come back out, and he extends his hand to AR Fox and says the kind words or whatever, which, okay, that kind of makes sense, whatever. But it's like AR Fox just got dumped, and so all of his reasons for turning and all of his reasons to be with Swerve, and he's like, okay, I'll go back with you. For me, it was weird, and it's like, all right, well, now we have a match, and then Christian coming out on top, and that's my factionism thing, factions upon factions. The real crime was the turtleneck, but I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Sting and Darby to win this one, and I'm excited to see, like Bill was saying, is there going to be a story between them? And I don't want someone missing a clothesline or hitting the other guy or anything like that. Maybe more of a Shawn Michaels, Ric Flair kind of thing. Like, hey, you know what? Like, I want it to be you, and kind of a respectful thing or something like that. Go ahead, Bill.
That's the way you go. Sting picks Darby, but I also think you could complicate the Swerve. I mean, say the AR Fox, Darby Allin stuff with Nick Wayne being like, "Hey, that's nice. You forgave him. He fucking beat me up, and my dad's right.
Exactly."
And then there's stuff you can complicate that with, and then does Swerve somehow does some heel manipulate Nick Wayne into coming over to his dark side, and there's stuff you can do with that to salvage it from that was weird. I think there still is there's still stuff you can mine from this.
Good stuff on that one, guys. That was interesting. I think I don't have too many more complaints, although we are going to talk about I don't want to say Bill's favorite, but controversial figure CM Punk taking on Samoa Joe for the real World Championship match. I want to know how you guys also feel about this real World Championship, the X, does it unvalidate the real championship? Do we care that this is a championship? Do we value this championship? Kimmy, help me out here.
Well, meaning that both these titles have not crossed paths yet, since one is on Collision and one is on Dynamite. Doesn't bother me yet. But I'm going to say that probably in Chicago they'll cross paths. This will probably be the match of the entire card, and Mr. Phillip Brooks will take the win. And again, another Ring of Honor championship that I can't get defended on Ring of Honor.
I was waiting for that. Yeah, I almost asked you that.
Thank you, Samoa Joe.
He has to hit 1,000 days. Don't we all know the titles hitting a fucking 1,000 days without being defended is really fucking important, guys? Let him finish the story. He's got to finish the story.
I think underrated. I think shout out Camille just topped over 800. She's well on her way. I could see her hitting 1,000.
She's having a legit legendary run.
And she defended on the Indies as well, which I think is very, very cool. I love that.
I was checking it out with Kristen the other day. She has defended the title more often than Roman Reigns in his 1,000 days. She has defended it more often.
Send me, if there's a link to that, send that to me. That's awesome.
It's cage match. It's in cage match.
Love it, dude. Yeah, and shout out both of them. Good stuff, man. And I feel like Camille's almost underrated. 800. That's insane.
He has to be on a show people watch. And she should be, because she has star written all over her.
Absolutely.
And maybe, I'm going to stop because I don't want to really shit on the NWA right now.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay. I was going to say, right now. Oh, okay.
Now I'm okay. I'm having a positive day right now. I don't really want to get
He's going to have a fit. He's going to start smashing pumpkins. It's going to be terrible. Let's do CM Punk versus Samoa. I'll show myself out. Versus Samoa Joe. Let's throw it to Warren.
Okay. Hey, we saw this match 4 weeks ago. Sweet. Let's do it again. For everyone CM Punk is feuding with, right? Jay White, Ricky Starks, Samoa Joe, MJF. He even has these made up feuds in his brain with Hangman Page. With all of these people he's feuding with. No, we have to go back to the match we had just a couple of weeks ago, just so that CM Punk can get a good, proper win, not a roll-up win. No, we can't have the legacy of CM Punk versus Samoa Joe be tainted by a weird roll-up victory. No, CM Punk has to get his proper win here. In a card that I find is overall stacked, and that I think people judge very unfairly. Yes. We can have quibbles about builds. I have my own opinions on it, but we can tackle that on another instance if we want. But this is probably the match that underwhelms me the most, and that I don't know what to expect. And on the topic of the Real World's Championship, that shit can hit the bricks. I think I feel like here's the thing. CM Punk wants to be a heel, but creative, aka Tony, doesn't want him to be a heel just yet because the show is still new. They want to sell tickets, and we feel like there's more to a good old-fashioned heel babyface CM Punk. But Punk, you listen to his promos, you listen to what he's talking about. He wants to be a heel, and he cuts heel promos. He's doing his thing. So I get that the belt with the X on it right over the E of, AEW. Because you know what E stands for? It doesn't stand for entertainment.
I don't know if you're joking or not, Rob. So
Nope. There's a lot of wrestling, to be fair, but that one, right? Yeah, thanks, Warren. This is why you're here, brother.
Well, I'm kind of
insert drummer joke.
But everyone was, I understand why he's doing it, why it's the heel thing to do. And I think it's good heat, but to a degree, everyone was fed up with interim titles. Well, now we have like a guy walking around with another belt saying that, he didn't lose it, so on and so forth, which is fine. I think it's good heel heat, but now we just have to pull the trigger on this. We have to go all in on it with CM Punk being a jackass, being a true to form heel, because in the meantime, you're building up one of the best baby faces in pro wrestling right now. Yeah. So they're in an you've got the elements here. So do what this guy wants to do. Make him a heel. Let him be the shitbag that we all know he is. Excuse me, pardon my French, but do it, because this Real World's Championship stuff is untenable and it's going to get exhausting real fucking fast.
Do you think, real quick, Warren, what kind of reaction do you think CM Punk gets? And do you think we're having separate sides of the locker room and building and all that nonsense?
Well, if they were old school, brother, the heels would be on one side and the faces are on the other. Motherfucker.
Right? There you go. It's just a couple of people who have issues, right? It's not even a locker room thing. There's going to be, the Bucks are going to be over here with Hangman and Christopher Daniels and what's his face, Cutler. They're all going to be over here, and then CM Punk is going to be all the way over here. But everyone else is going to be mingling. Everything it's Britt maybe is going to be over with the elite guys, because she really. And I don't blame her. But other than that, like, it's just a few people that just don't want anything to do with the guy. So it'll be fine. As far as reactions go, I would not be surprised that, the UK crowd go completely babyface on him because it's the first time he's going to be showing up there.
I agree. That's where
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
I agree. Very well said. Bill, you've been very vocal about CM Punk, how much he meant to you, how much his return meant to you. And then how, I'm not just mad, I'm disappointed. You were disappointed in CM Punk, man. Since he's come back, man, has your feelings changed at all? Are you excited for this match?
No, I'm not. I think the build has been very, as Warren said, it's been very mid. It's just like, well, let's pull a rabbit out. Let's put a whole bunch of names in a hat. Let's pull out a name. It was Samoa Joe. Okay, cool. We're gonna have a good match here.
Samoa Joe is out there challenging CM Punk, and CM Punk in the meantime is like, Ricky Starks, you son of a bitch. It's like,
yeah, I feel like I like Collision as a show. I think it's a very different vibe than Dynamite, and I really love that the fact we get the two sides of pro wrestling I love. Like, one side is that car crash PWG ECW style. I know it's weird and people are like, it's so sloppy. Well, I'm a chaos demon, so I love that shit. Collision, unfortunately, is on Saturdays. I gotta go be a dad. Sometimes, hey man, fuck it. If there's a Disney movie out, I'm not gonna watch Collision. I'm gonna go take my daughter to the movies. I have priorities. But I feel that CM Punk's return, outside of the return, has not been as hot as I would think it would have been, and not as controversial. The most I hear about is like horse shit happening backstage, rather than, hey, here is a really cool CM Punk angle. Here's a really cool CM Punk promo. It's just like, oh, he's potentially being a dick, and then even when you read into that, it's like, all right, well, him and Dolph Ziggler's brother don't get along. Whoopity fucking do. Who cares? Like, that's cool. Not everyone is gonna get along. Like, come into my office any day of the week. You'll see how many people I don't like. Like, spoilers. But it's just like, it's fine. I just think I have pie in the sky ideas that I will bring up later about CM Punk, that if I was booking this shit, this is what I would do. However, I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's been a really good addition back to the show. And I'll say his Kojima match, which Warren will agree with me, I think, he worked as a fucking heel and was super effective. Like, he was great in that match.
But Toronto hated him too.
Oh, yeah. And he is not a dummy, because he is Hulk Hogan now. Plain and simple. He's become Hulk Hogan.
He's HBK. He's 1996 Shawn Michaels. And that's
why I wasn't why.
The irony of him being a Bret guy is delicious.
Yeah, I mean, but also that's when I wasn't really watching WWE at the time because Shawn was on top. But, neither here nor there. You suck. And that was for you, Kenny, if you're listening. But yeah, I think this will be a perfectly good and fun match, but it will be ultimately forgettable. I think we're at the end of the day, we'll be like, that was a match that happened. Someone brought this up on Twitter. It's really ironic that MJF has never acknowledged CM Punk's Real World Championship ever. And there's a reason for that. It's fucking stupid. It's like, how many times are we going to do this? And it goes back to I listened to Jim Ross's podcast. Like, they were doing this shit in Mid-South in the 70s. Can we fucking stop? If you want to bring stuff back from the 70s, give me like dog collar matches, bull rope matches, just fucking blood everywhere. Oh, wait, you do that already, and I love you for that. But it's just like, give me something else. What's in the bag? I don't give a shit what's in the bag. Who cares? It's just like, go fucking wrestle. And the X across the E, I'm just like, where else is he going to put it? It'll look really dumb if it's not across the whole belt. Imagine he just did it across the A. How stupid would he look? It was like, well, that looks dumb. Aesthetically not pleasing at all.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on this. I like you said, Bill, like, this could be a really, really good match. Like, Samoa Joe versus CM Punk, good matchup, in terms of just, seeing one versus the other. Really cool seeing that again. But like, yeah, the story not invested. I'm infamously not a Punk guy. I don't want to go down that road. This could still be a really, really good match. I am not considering this a world title match of any sort. I forget that there's a title in this at times. Interestingly, with the X, we've seen this before. Bill mentioned it in other promotions, way back in the day, the Jim Ross podcast, this and that. Sure, it's there. I'm sure it's going to be a really great match, but Bill said possibly forgettable, and I might be eating those words. It might be a fantastic standout match. The crowd is going to play a big part in this whole pay-per-view. So it's going to be great. Real quick, let's talk, and we're hitting our times here, guys. Let's talk about the Golden Elite, Kota Ibushi, Kenny Omega, and Hangman, Bill's favorite, Adam Page versus I almost said buffet, the Bullet Club Gold.
The Buffet Club.
And Takashita, Takeshita. I'm sorry. Yeah, I love Takashita too. I'm reading the thing.
I love him so much.
I love Takeshita.
Seconds go to the bathroom.
I almost didn't want him to turn heel. Boo! Wow, I heard that, Bill.
It's true.
Golden Elite. I'm gonna go Golden Elite on this one. Golden Elite. I don't got much more to add. Should be a really fun match. Kimmy, help me out here.
My guy Jay White gonna shine at Wembley. Come on, Rob.
Okay,
you know I'm Jay White's security guard. Haven't you heard? Duh.
She's got to protect his abs because those things are like he takes a lot of times with them.
They belong in a museum.
He's the best. I love that guy. The Golden Elite are gonna win, but Jay White, what a guy. So great. 10 out of 10. Highly recommend.
She would highly recommend Jay White.
Are you picking with your heart? Are you picking with your heart, Kim?
I just said the Golden Elite were gonna win, Rob.
Okay. Just
pay attention, Rob. It's 11:20 at night.
I'm multitasking and I'm old. Let's go to Warren.
This is a match that is setting something up for All Out, and it's setting up Kenny Omega and Takeshita. That's what
I just put it in my notes. Edit.
Warren, Ben.
I hate myself for that one. I hear it on every podcast too.
It's fine.
I'll own it.
It's okay.
You have to. It's the Bob Culture podcast. You have to own like fucking everything you say.
It is your show.
And I apologize for that because he's one of my favorite, and I've said it a million times. But anyway, I digress, Warren. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. We're just having a little fun here. But yeah, no, this is absolutely setting up Takeshita and Omega, I think, for Chicago. I would not be against a Jay White Hangman Page match out of this either, which is something that we haven't really been, they've probably had matches in Japan, but nothing now at this stage in their career, right? This would be pretty fucking dope, as the kids like to say. I'm looking forward to the old kids. I'm looking forward to this because these are all people that I really like. These are all wrestlers that I really like. It is the year 2023, and I am saying that I really like Juice Robinson. But if there is a guy who has ever benefited more from leaving the territory, aka New Japan, to go into AEW and just reestablish himself. It's not even a reinvention. It's an ongoing continuation of what Juice Robinson, he abandoned the super serious rock hard stuff that Gato wanted him to do. Now he's coming in, he's just, he's living cocaine is what he is. Like he's if cocaine took a human form, it's Juice Robinson, and I love him for it. I never thought I'd fall in love with Juice Robinson as much as I am now. This is going to rule. And I love me some 6-man tags like this on the card. I know people are like, Kenny should have a singles match. Hangman should have a singles match. Here's the thing. Kenny Omega probably has some say on where and when he's going to wrestle.
I'm pretty
sure he's like, no, let's do this instead and keep the just pulling that out there. And this will be great because it'll establish a bunch of stuff. We'll get Kota Ibushi in Wembley. I hope that Kota hit the gym a little bit, got a little more of that ring rust out, because that little show at Blood and Guts, I don't think, if that was your first contact with Kota Ibushi, you were probably looking at him saying, why are all these marks excited for him? This guy he's kind of slow and he sort of stinks. So I hope that, we get a little more of the golden ace than what we got than what we got recently. But I I'm excited for this. And you know what? Here's a guy who's going to gobble up every single second here, and it's Konosuke Takeshita. This guy knows the position he's put in here. This guy, he is going to eat up the ring. And Jay White leaving Wembley, I'm so glad he's on this show, because there's another arena that he can say that he single-handedly sold out. He's going to add that to MSG, the Tokyo Dome, the United Center, Wembley Stadium. God, I love Jay White.
I want to change my answer now. Bill, I won't. Bill, what do you got?
You better not. I know people are like, why is this happening? Kenny, well, the rumor is Kenny was supposed to take on Dragon in the second match. And like that would have been amazing, but we didn't get it. So what do? You're just going to have a whole bunch of people going batshit crazy. It's going to be classic, like Bullet Club Gold, like that 60-minute tag match. Who would have thought, like, hey, you know what? Juice Robinson was involved in a match of the year candidate. Who put that on the bingo card for 2023? Nobody. Not even
or
Juice
2022
Robinson.
Or 2021 or 2020 or so on and so on.
Yeah. And so what's going to happen is it's like the Golden Elite are going to get all their hot moves in, start out real fast. They're going to slow it. Bullet Club Gold's going to slow it the fuck down. They really are. This match should be also sponsored by Global Force Gold. Jeff Jarrett's in the house. Let's fucking make this happen. But I do think the Golden Elite win because you have to. You send the people home. No, I'm sorry. I'm going Bullet Club Gold because you have to have Takeshita hot to have for Omega at All Out. Bullet Club Gold. Hangman and Ibushi lose nothing by losing. And if you're telling me those two crazy sons of bitches are going to go to All Out and face, Jay and Juice, okay, sure. You already had my ticket, so Kimmy can go see Kota Ibushi in Chicago. So great. Make that happen. This is going to be an absolute blast. Jay White is just going to milk the fucking shit out of this crowd. I can't wait for it.
He is going to be so good. Oh, I can't wait for him to stall for 5 minutes in front of 82,000 people.
Intentionally
stall. It'll be great.
Not a Randy Orton side headlock.
No. Rolling out of the ring, rolling back in and rolling back out. No, let's go.
Guns up.
Oh, man. I hadn't heard a Bill Randy Orton comment in some time.
If we're talking about stalling, come on. We have to.
Oh, gosh. Bill, not a fan. Bill, not a fan.
Good heat. It's good heat.
Yeah, that's it. Bill, you're right. I cannot change my answer, but you are correct. I think Takeshita 1,000% should be the standout in this match, and that all-out match will be. That all-out match is going to rule. They showed a couple matches real quick. They showed a couple matches for All Out, a couple graphics. I feel like it almost feels like an after. I mean, obviously we're building this. We're right on the cusp of this one, but what are we thinking about this card and the matches we think might happen? How are we feeling about this All-Out card overall? What I've seen so far.
Will Hobbs and Miro are going to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Darby Allin and Luchasaurus is going to be just plunderific. And I think we're going to get Ruby and Statlander, which will be great.
So that's not going to be. Yeah, I thought that might be.
Well, they might. I mean, I'm just, postulating.
That would be a cool one.
They'll fight somehow over the next 2 weeks. That'll be great.
Yeah, I guess it's too early to tell. I just felt like it almost felt like an afterthought. But obviously, the timing right now, we know where the attention is on this huge 81,000 whatever capacity crowd and climbing. Let's go to. Well, I'm excited for this one. Chris Jericho taking on Will Ospreay, who's amazing.
I can't wait to hear Kimmy just die about this match.
So I'll call it right down the middle on this one, and then I'll throw it to you, Kimmy.
No.
Yeah,
I think this has the potential to be very, very good. But I also said that Jericho versus Adam Cole match was going to be very good. A lot of wrestling. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, that was a double. That was a double or nothing.
I think we all did. I think we all thought it was going to be very good. I expect
big things because Jericho had a great match with Ricky Starks. Correct me if I know there's so much going on.
He did.
And then just like the stories there and everything was very interesting. But that last match, and again, no fault to anyone, Cole coming back from very, very serious injury. Cole and MJF, the first match was amazing. We'll get into that later. So Cole's looking great. This could be really, really good. You know what? I think it's going to be amazing. I'm hyped for this one. I don't think there's any reason for Will Ospreay to lose here. He talked a little bit about his contract. I am so here for this one. And Jericho playing himself to the ring, singing himself to the ring. Again, first of all, as a musician, hopping for that. I love the jab as a musician to say, so you can put on your resume that you played Wembley Stadium, which was a jab at Fozzy. I thought that was brilliant in terms of promo, and calling it down the middle. And Warren, you've talked about this on your show several times. The audio issues have been, and again, just being fair here, have been horrendous. There were static in the mic several times. There's feedback. Sometimes we're getting arena mics and not live mics. We're not getting direct mics to the cameras. We're not getting direct mics to the feed. It's I don't know what it is or why they can't get a handle on it. But if he's moving with a mic down the ramp, which I imagine he's going to do second verse, whatever it is, I'm concerned. And that's just me calling it down the middle. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm very excited for this. Jericho is going to get the win going to the ring, but Will Ospreay is getting the big dub on this one. Kimmy, what do you got?
Match is gonna suck.
Is this a Seth Rollins thing again?
It always
No,
is a Seth
yes,
Rollins
this
thing.
match is gonna suck. I would like to not pick this guy on a predictions panel. This is ridiculous. I had to do it in June. Have to do it in August. Probably gonna have to do it in September. Waste of time. He's probably gonna win because why wouldn't he win? And I'm probably not gonna watch this match because at the end of the day, Will Ospreay sucks.
Don't ever say anything negative about Seth Rollins ever. You must hate Shinsuke Nakamura right now too.
I do.
Well,
first I didn't watch it
consistency.
Very,
but I
very
didn't watch Raw on Monday, so I didn't see the whole thing. But yeah, Nakamura bad.
unbiased. For sure. As someone who has never been biased. Warren, what do you got, bro?
I am going. First of all, this promo that they cut tonight was just on Dynamite because we're recording this after Dynamite. Extraordinary stuff.
Yeah,
the kind of thing that talks you into a building. I was so stoked for this. And Ospreay, who is renowned to not be, a killer promo. We don't know Will Ospreay for his excellent mic skills. Jesus Christ, he delivered. Just absolutely fired up, believable, awesome stuff. And then Chris Jericho just coolly follows suit. Just an incredible bit of business. I was so into this. I was like, they already have my ticket. That's fine. It's all right. But figuratively speaking, this talked me into the building. And it was the one promo, the one thing I found that they have done throughout this entire buildup to Wembley. And I'm not talking about the card. I'm talking about the event. It is the one thing that has happened that made this show feel big, feel special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they were mentioning Wembley, because they were saying this is, we were supposed to do this, and they were so fired up and passionate about it. This felt big time. It is the match that really does make it feel like Wembley is special. Okay. And because my criticism to the Wembley build is not the build itself, to the match. It's not the card. I like the card. I think it's good. It's AEW not biting into the fact that they are legitimately putting on the biggest pro wrestling show in pro wrestling history, outside of matches where dictators have guns to your head. Okay, that's it. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
And they never bit into that. They never made it feel huge. WWE does a fantastic job making WrestleMania feel like the biggest thing on earth. Like, they're already pestering us with Philadelphia for 40 next year. And then the road to WrestleMania, 146 days left, 36 days left, 22 days. They never leave it feel like it's just another event. But Wembley feels like a Full Gear, a Double or Nothing. Not to disrespect those shows. It just feels like another AEW pay-per-view, which is fine. Never bet against an AEW pay-per-view. But it's more than that. It's significant. It's a big chunk of wrestling history that's going down right now by a company that is barely 5 years old. So I'm baffled when I I'll just finish this up and I'll let you go. I'm baffled when I think about the missed opportunities to make this feel tremendous and make AEW feel super major league, right? And they just built it like all their other pay-per-views. Oh, and by the way, at the top of the graphics, it's the biggest biggest pro wrestling show ever. So that's why when I was listening to Ospreay and Jericho tonight, I was like, this feels huge. This feels huge. And it's fantastic. Two big-time wrestlers making it feel huge.
I agree, Warren. And I think some of that, I have a theory on why some of that wind was taken out of the sails. Do you remember Tony's when he first announced it? It was in conjunction with Warner Brothers' 100th anniversary.
Yes.
I think from my reading of the tea leaves and the industry stuff, this was going to be a huge part of this was going to be on Max, and this was going to launch Max's sports subsection. And I think they kept having to like delay it because then that's the big news too, because they were going to have Warner Bros. Going to promote it too, and then they're like, nah, we're going to wait, and they're like, fuck, okay, now we have to come up with something else. So I think that's why they didn't lean into it right away, because now with the MJF busted open, town hall with, I also think the Cole and MJF promos really sold this as this is big time. I think that's why they started leaning into this week, because I think they were because they even announced this at the last minute. This was going to be a pay-per-view, because I really think they thought this was going to be a live event, and I think
absolutely.
I think they really got. I really think they got the short end of the stick on that one. But I agree 100% with the promo.
It could be a night.
It's Will Ospreay's finest stuff, and what I love about this promo is, at any second in this match, either one could be the heel or babyface. Because if you think about Will Ospreay, is like, I'm doing this for his new. I don't know if that's his new wife. I know who it is, but I don't know if that's his new wife, his girlfriend. Like. And he's saying, I'm doing it for them. I'm doing this to solidify my legacy. And Jericho's like, so am I. And it's just like, this is the Clash of the Titans. The two guys who are basically mirror images of each other. And I was just like, yes. And at any time, Jericho knows that he's going to hear that moment where he's like, I have to be the heel now. Because I've built it in that he talked down to Will. I saved you from being this. I'm the good guy.
I kept you from being in a wheelchair. Yeah.
Exactly. And the only thing making Will Ospreay a heel is Don Callis. So, and Don's not a fucking idiot either. So Don will dial back and fade into the background if they're all behind Ospreay. So the brilliance of the layering of this, and I think Jericho is going to have the match of his life. He's going to die trying.
And do you know why? Because he's wrestling the greatest professional wrestler on planet Earth, William Ospreay, who could get a 4-star match out of Warren Hayes if he tried.
Wow.
And Warren Hayes is a sack of turnips.
It's not true. Not true.
No, but for real, like I legitimately believe that Will Ospreay is the greatest wrestler on planet Earth. I watched him in a G1 this year. I watched the entirety of the G1 wrestle people who everyone considered are finished, or are downhill. Oh, they don't have the things anymore. But every time gets into the ring with someone, he just drags the absolute best out of those people. He is a guy who someone who was born to just do a thing.
Yep.
Will Ospreay could not be a plumber, could not be an electrical engineer. Hell, he couldn't even run Twitter. He's a pro wrestler. I guess anyone could run Twitter, come to think of it. But
if Kimmy ran Twitter, Will Ospreay would be off of it.
Damn right he would.
But there is no one who even comes close to his body of work and what he is capable of doing, his understanding of pro wrestling mechanics, of in-ring storytelling, of drama. He was carrying Tetsuya Naito in the G1 in the semifinals of the playoffs, gets knocked loopy. And Will Ospreay literally carries him. And I mean literally. He is picking up Naito and performing Destinos on himself. As Naito is out. It's phenomenal. This man is on an entirely other level. And I am in complete confidence when it comes to this match because I don't think Will Ospreay is capable of having a bad match. I don't think it's humanly possible. I don't think it is.
Wow. Really, really, really.
So you're picking Chris Jericho.
So I'm picking Chris Jericho because the guy's not signed. Don't put over guys from outside the territory over your guys. Plus, Chris Jericho, here's another thing. Chris Jericho has spent the better part of 18 months putting everyone else over. And everyone will talk about the Jericho vortex sucking people into them and they never come out. That's false. It is false. People who feud with Chris Jericho are guaranteed television time. They're on TV. They always come out looking better. And Jericho always fucking loses. So it's time for Jericho to get some heat back. I'm absolutely okay with this. I am absolutely okay with Chris Jericho in Wembley Stadium winning over the hometown boy. I am absolutely okay with it. It makes perfect sense.
Wow, can I change my answer again? Wow, that was wow, man.
You know what? I'm gonna go Will Ospreay. Here's why.
Okay, please.
I think Will Ospreay is destined for AEW. I think I think he's going there, and I think this is all roads lead to Omega Ospreay, the final encounter at the Tokyo Dome. I don't think Ospreay can. The G1's a different animal.
Sure.
But when it comes to this stuff, I don't think Ospreay can lose. I think Ospreay has to be the hottest wrestler on the face of this planet, and there has to be the drama to the build to Omega for the third one. You beat me once, okay? You beat it, and then it's just like
it makes sense. But I also absolutely see Will Ospreay going, no. I am doing the JOB to Chris Jericho.
I don't think Ospreay is. I don't think he's an egomaniac. You know what I mean? Like I think he knows.
When it comes to these high level people, I think he's like, no, Chris Jericho, I'm laying down for kind of thing. I think they're probably going in with this idea. But you make a lot of sense too. Because look, in the G1, he finally got his clean win over Kazuchika Okada in a fucking block match that ultimately, didn't have any, didn't outside of the points, wasn't in the finals, wasn't in the semifinals, wasn't in the playoffs in a knockout round. It's just a block match in the G1. So that to me is a sign that he's not long for New Japan. And I see, Rob's shifting in his chair because we're not making our times anymore.
No.
But
I'm just old.
She's like, come on, guys.
He's like, stop talking about goddamn motherfucker Will Ospreay. Jesus Christ. Timmy's like, motherfuckers, how long can you kiss this?
Not at all.
But I don't think he's long for New Japan either. I think his contract, all New Japan contracts usually come up at the year, at the new year. So I think he's done. I think he does the Dome show. And he's gone. So your point makes sense. Make him come in feeling like the biggest fucking superstar in the world, have him beat Chris Jericho at Wembley Stadium. But there is an argument to be made that it's weird because this is a guy from another territory right now, that you have not signed. And coming in and getting the win over one of your guys, one of your top guys on top of that, and a top guy who really needs a win at this point. He really needs to get some heat back. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's good stuff, guys. And real quick, I do want to touch on what Warren said, because they were in the ring for such a short amount of time. They really told this story. The Don Callis and Chris Jericho thing, I wasn't as high on as everybody else was, but don't forget Don Callis has evolved, Sammy Guevara as well. And the little things like Jericho did, like to build the tension, like where he was pushing Shivani's arm down, which I thought was like little things like that, man. Like we put the mic up and he's like, I'm going to keep going. Like little things like that. You could feel it build. It was perfect. Like it felt very organic. Now this is
why is Sammy going to turn on Chris Jericho is my first thought now. It's just like, fuck, he's going to join Don Callis. He's gonna cost Chris Jericho the match.
Sammy needs to be a heel. I can't stand babyface Sammy Guevara. I really can't.
I think he joins the Callis family. I think that's
good.
I think that's how Jericho loses, because Ospreay wins. So like you said, Guy isn't signed. He's not come back to the territory. No, he could be an affiliate. We have plenty of affiliates out there. You know, we've seen the stables throughout the years, factions, if you will, Rob. If there where they have guys coming in from different companies and whatnot, wouldn't it be great if at All Out, Sammy Guevara or Chris Jericho? What better way to have a match and get Sammy over, which Jericho will be hellbent to do, and he still is.
Sure.
I think that's how it goes. Ospreay wins because of Sammy Guevara's ultimate betrayal. And I think that's how Garcia and all those guys end up going back with Jericho, be like, "Oh, that guy's a dick," you know, it's like he betrays all, or he betrays all. Something happens there. I think maybe not that part, but I do think we're going to see Sammy Guevara return.
Bill playing 4D.
Wait till you get the fucking third eye open. I'm on mushrooms. Pick or the tag team title match.
I didn't mean to cut you off, man, but you're playing 4D chess, man. It sounds that's really interesting. It makes a lot of sense because you're putting the pieces in place for All Out. That's makes a lot of sense. This is the part of the show where Kimmy yells at me because I think, and yes, I know there's a 0 hour match. Are we at the main event? I'm going to combine the two. We're at the main event.
Hell no! Are you out of your mind? We're getting a title match, buddy.
I'm getting yelled at. Go ahead. I'm used to it.
For the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
How could I forget? This match is
FTR versus the Young Bucks.
It is still happening, correct? We're not going to end all that, but it is still happening.
It's happened.
Kimmy, what do you got?
Well, Rob, I don't know why you asked that question. They did a whole segment on Dynamite about it. Didn't you watch Dynamite?
Yes, I did watch that. I'm sorry, there's so much wrestling.
So you saw the segment.
I did see it was the sit down with Renee, the MVP.
Yes. Which meant they were promoting the match, which meant that the match is still happening. Right. So this is the rubber match. Yay. Amazing. The Young Bucks are going to win. Because why not have the Young Bucks and CM Punk have gold at the same time? How fun and exciting.
Bill.
Let's get weird, guys. Let's get real weird. So we're in a match, right? Rick Knox is obviously the referee. Rick Knox often gets hit by things. Obviously, someone punched him. Juice Robinson punched him in the fucking mouth before. It was great. It's awesome. So he gets knocked down. And man, oh man, wouldn't it be something? CM Punk came out to help his buddies FTR beat the Bucks. Because why does everyone hate this build? Because we don't have the fucking Elite versus CM Punk. That's the match everyone wants for this. So again, this is wild shit. So we're getting weird. So he comes out. He hits the ring. And who hits the ring to stop him? That peg warming motherfucker, Hangman Adam Page. You want to talk about a real world champion? Who gives a shit about that? Let's get down to the brass tacks of this. 1 year removed from all the bullshit. They'll never work together. We can't be on the same side. Dolph Ziggler's brother is mad. Christopher Daniels got sent home. Blah. It's all smoke. This thing has all been settled, in my opinion. Well, in my mind, which is probably all wrong, but I don't give a fuck. This is my pick. Because that's where we're off the races. We need AEW. AEW needs to be hot. They can't move tickets. They can't do this. Well, brother, that's how you move tickets. And that's when it happens. That's when it explodes. And Wembley Stadium will fucking erupt.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you do. So that's not going to happen. What'll happen is I think FTR is going to retain. Because I think the Young Bucks are also, I think that if they're going to do business, they're going to put FTR over. They've always said FTR is the best team. And I think they're going to put FTR over because, God damn it, we got fucking Santana and Ortiz back, and those sons of bitches are owed to win over FTR, and that feud is ready-made to go again. So let's have that. But I think it's FTR all the way. But God damn it, guys, if I'm right, and that happens.
If you're right,
Tony.
I'm investing in your website if you're right.
Tony. Just put me out of my misery from my real job.
I think, barring any behind the scenes, whatever stuff, I don't want to get into all that.
I just did, so you can.
No, not that stuff.
Rob doesn't want to get heat for anyone. So.
No, just like legalities and things of that nature. I think FTR does retain here for down the line. I do think that, and again, right, we're doing this. I think the Hardys are going to ultimately at some point capture that, just to have captured all the gold everywhere. I know they're doing the job right now. We're seeing that. I'm getting a lot of head shaking. I've said I'm going to stick with it. But that being said, I think FTR wins here. Warren, just lay into me, brother. I'm used to it.
No. I understand the Hardy love. Don't get me wrong. It's fine.
I've listened to your show. Yep.
But in regards to, like, honestly, Bob, if Bill, excuse me, you're Rob, Bob, Bill, Beam, blah. Bill, honestly,
my middle name is Robert, so it's fine.
Really?
Oh, we learn something new every day.
Well,
my middle name is Schwarzkopf. No, it's not. An Irish guy with a Polish name. What more North American could you get? Honestly, the CM Punk thing for FTR. I'm gonna tell you, because Punk's match is so nondescript on this card, it kind of feels like they're gonna do a little something. So when you brought that up, I was like, oh shit, okay. I'm not ready to hand wave this into the realm of psychedelics. Like, I think there's a little meat to that, but regardless, even before all of the Cash Wheeler things happened, I was very much on the board of the Bucks getting the titles. And I feel like I'm on a little island here, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's kind of for the same reasons that I think Chris Jericho should win. The Bucks have been way too fucking gracious in this company. They are the best tag team of the past 20 years. And they have carried this style into mainstream television, as we see right now on All Elite Wrestling, and that some folks in other companies are trying desperately to emulate. I'm not going to say copy, but that being said, they've never had their proper quote unquote flowers, like they said in their promo on Dynamite, in their own company. They put over Private Party in the opening tournament. Look how great a decision that was. And then, they've won the title. Sure. They were transitional title holders last year, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it last year? Just between we'll give them to the Bucks and then the Bucks will drop them. They've been so good with everyone because they knew. Same thing with Kenny Omega when they started up, right? If all the elite people win all the titles, people are just going to bitch. Oh, of course they're putting themselves over. They're being Dusty Rhodes, blah, 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 of course. They've re-signed. They're back with the company. They've got CM Punk sequestered on Saturday nights. Give them the fucking titles. Give them the proper Young Bucks run. Let them destroy everyone on the roster. I am completely fine with this because they've never done, and they are a great tag team. They are one of the greatest of all time. They're the best. They're absolutely the best tag team of the 2010s. Yeah. I say they're the best tag team of the past 20 years. No one even comes close.
Well, FTR, they come close.
Well, they come close, but yeah, look, it's in their name. They're a revival. They're bringing stuff back. But they're not doing, they're not emulating, Mid-South, they're not reproducing like move for move stuff, but they're bringing it back to another style with a modern hinge to it. Nonetheless, they're not complete dopes. They know if they start doing like, complete Midnight Express tribute matches up and down the line, people are going to get bored. That's just, they get it. They're very good. They're an excellent tag team as well. But the Bucks have to stop playing nice now. They have to, it's their company. Come on now. And honestly, they need this run at this point. And in Wembley, why would you give this to FTR? No, but I play a little ego, muscle a little. Come on, Jacksons, put your big boy pants on and tell Tony, why would we be giving this, to Dax and Road Rage Buddy when we have built this company. Sorry, Rob, I'm not getting you into trouble here.
Cash don't get behind the wheeler.
Why it's our show. We built this company, blood, sweat, and tears. We had to put up with this fucking brawl out nonsense with this fucking baby on the other side of the arena. We have to deal with all of this. No, it's our turn now. It's our time. The Jacksons are going to start thinking about the Jacksons now. We put over your trios titles. You took them away from us. We came back. We did it again. It's our time now. I'm completely okay with this.
Can I change my answer again? Man, good stuff, man. I'm really having fun with this panel, and I think that speaks to the booking of this pay-per-view. It is like we can critique it, but it is going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually very excited for this one. I'll be on vacation for the first time in like 4 years, and I said I am going to make time to, this is one thing I want to do, sit down and watch.
Where are you going? Are you doing something special?
We're going to be down in big shout out ISPW has a show down in Wildwood, so we're going to make a little trip Wildwood, New Jersey. So it'll be nice little getaway. It's awesome, man. I'm going to be very excited for this pay-per-view too, man. So now, Warren, I'm going to let you take the lead on this one because fun little tidbit, which I always love extra mile stuff, man. And this is next level, man. I appreciate that. Kimmy, can I talk about Adam Cole, Bebe, and MJF? Of course, in the 0 hour match, which I do want, we'll put it all together. I want you guys to talk about too, and how this will play into the main event. I think it's very interesting putting the main eventers on the 0 hour, but I think it's also brilliant, and I don't hate it, and it's different, and I don't hate it, and you tell a story. I'm here for it. Nobody get hurt. That being said, of course, MJF taking on Adam Cole in the main event at Wembley Arena for the AEW, the Triple B World Championship. Warren, I want you to talk about all this, and I want you to lead with a little fun little thing you told us, which I think is next level. Blew my mind, brother.
I'm not sure what you're referring to, but I'll go
plug your show, brother. Plug your show.
Okay. What I'm thinking. So all of this is interconnected, and I'm with you, Rob. I much prefer this kind of stuff, trying something out completely new, right? Putting your main eventers on the pre-show instead of having, a panel of kayfabe people talking kayfabe predictions, that's, whatever. This is much more interesting, and it's got people talking, right? And isn't that what you want? You just want people talking. So there's something, it's inevitable that something is going to happen.
Right.
That's the thing here. Like Tony Khan has given us the hugest of breadcrumbs here, the whole fucking loaf at this point, where it's just like something's happening here. You cannot miss it because there's going to be something in this dynamic that's going to fall apart. There's something that's going to happen. And the way I'm feeling it, of course, look, Aussie Open are retaining the titles. I think that's pretty much a given. I sincerely believe that at the pre-show, Adam Cole turns on MJF. He's still aligned with the Kingdom. He said it tonight in the promo. He said, being friends with MJF, because I had lost my confidence after the concussion and so on. And when I came back, being friends with MJF helped me find the real Adam Cole again. And we're all thinking, this nice guy and whatnot. No, Adam Cole, the real Adam Cole has always been a son of a bitch. It's always been a slimy, Panama playboy asshole. That's what he is. He's slimy, he's manipulative, and he's great at it. So I think, and they even re-aired it. They were re-airing all sorts of things with the original, Roddy coming out and saying, what are you doing? And Adam Cole going, no, I got this. I know he's a snake. I got this. Don't worry. I'm playing him. And he's been playing him all along. And the Kingdom have all been in on this. And Roddy is going to take off the neck brace and is going to be like, waha, it's been a ruse all along. It's like, I sincerely believe I sincerely believe, if I'm writing this, the pre-show ends, MJF is flat on his back and he has eaten shit from Cole and Roddy and Mike Bennett Mike Bennett in Wembley. That will warm my heart, by the way. And Matt Taven. And he's going to be beaten. He's going to be ruined. They're going to wound him for the main event. And he's going to come out. MJF is going to come out with rib tape, because he's hurt. He's going to have the kinesio tape on his shoulder, whatever. And Adam Cole is going to be the most detested human in that entire country. He's going to have to flee from London that night. He's going to, baby, we won't have time. He's going to grab Britt. We don't have time to go to Big Ben, baby. Sorry, we got to go. These Brits are after me. And my ultimate prediction, Adam Cole beats MJF 1, 2, 3. And he wins the title in Wembley, and he becomes the most hated, most despised heel in pro wrestling to set up the biggest match that they're going to get out of those two at All Out, with MJF having the entire sympathy of the crowd. There is a reason why he's not kayfabing anymore, why he's not being, just the skeevy guy on Twitter anymore. He is going to be the big baby face in this, and they're going to have their rematch, and MJF's going to win it back. Who cares if Adam Cole just has it for a week? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He won it at Wembley.
He won it at Wembley, and we want MJF to have it back. Why do we want MJF to have it back? Because in the meantime, CM Punk is walking around with his phony baloney title, and he wants to be a heel, and now we have the biggest baby face in pro wrestling right now is going to be available for that. So we lead into Full Gear, as it was ordained last year. It was what's supposed to happen, where CM Punk lies flat on his back for the JOB, for the 1, 2, 3, staring up at the lights for MJF, just as it was supposed to happen at Full Gear last year. Because CM Punk owes him that. He legitimately owes him that. He really does. And that's how I think this is all going to play out. And I'm excited for it. And everyone is going to be saying, well, what are they going to do that's going to be so exciting for All Out? And there you go. That's all you need. That's legit. Everyone is telling me this is the greatest. This is AEW's bloodline, which I disagree. I don't think it's AEW's bloodline. I think it pops quarter hours, but it's not doing the business that the bloodline is doing. They're not selling tickets. It's not an angle that's putting ass in seats. They're not having these great explosive numbers. They're in their median. They're doing their regular numbers. Everything's fine. Don't get me wrong. It's not like business is tanking, but it's not this huge successful thing. It's a great story. You pull the plug on the story while it's hot. You make something happen. Don't drag this out to the eighth inning while telling us we're at the bottom of the third kind of thing. This is a story that just needs this big twist, this big turn. Flip everything on its head. Adam Cole wins, and he wins the title. You can't get any more disgusting and awful and vile than MJF coming in and do it. And one last thing, and then I'll hand it off there, but and it's not just because he was on my stream last night, but I cannot put over enough how great and well-rounded MJF is as a professional wrestler. A guy who has us convinced he is the scum of the earth, where he cuts promos, where he's now he's a scumbag, but where he's, where he's just awful and degrading. The story about the girl in the car. Remember that, in the car accident and all that stuff, where people were like, he's going too far. It's like, no, he wants you to hate him. Let him do his thing. He's awful, and he's doing all this, and he's great at it. And then all of a sudden we decide to flip it around, and he is a phenomenal babyface. This guy is unstoppable, and he will tell you, I don't want to wrestle. I'm not here to wrestle the 5-star matches, but yet he goes off and has 5-star matches. He is unstoppable, and he is in his mid-20s. We have only scratched the surface to Maxwell Jacob Friedman's career at this point, and he is already fantastic. He is a player. He is a pillar, not just of AEW, of pro wrestling. Phenomenal stuff.
Wow. This is why you're here, man. Warren always getting the sound bite, man. I love it, bro. Good stuff, man. And can I plug the stream real quick? You mentioned it briefly.
Sure. Go. Yes.
And he's being very humble here, but I think it's extra mile work. MJF was actually watching and a part of Warren's stream, weighing into the fact where they were like, if this is you, tweet, what was it, a cup or something like that on Twitter. And sure enough, he tweeted a cup. And I just think, first of all, very well deserved Warren, but also I think that's next level work. You know, if we're going babyface, now we're on the podcast. I mean, next level. Absolutely fantastic. Appreciate that. I have a lot to say. I'm going to pass it along to Kimmy, though. But real quick, I think a lot of the reason people are comparing it to the Bloodline, it is more of a long. It's not super long, but it's a long-term story, which has not been a thing since for a very long time. Ciampa and Gargano was one of the first very long-term storylines in a very long time. Then came the Bloodline. So this is becoming more of a thing, which I am here for. This is a big part of the reason why I'm buying this pay-per-view. I've enjoyed a lot of it. I have a lot to say, but Kimmy, please go right ahead.
Well, Warren, that's kind of what's going to happen, but it's not at the same time. So first of all, thank you, Ring of Honor tag titles, which again are never defended on the Ring of Honor programming. The tag titles are actually they're defended on Rampage. They're defended on Dynamite. Can they ever get defended on the show they're supposed to be on? No. So Aussie Open's gonna win. I hate them too. Should have been the Kingdom. So MJ.
One day,
Adam Cole,
day it will.
One day. No, it won't. So Adam Cole's not gonna turn on 0 Hour. The Kingdom are going to help him win the title because they're going to do some ref bump type thing. Then the Kingdom's going to come out. Then it's going to look like they're going to beat up MJ or beat up Adam Cole. And then boom, they're going to beat up MJF, going to help Adam win the title because the OGK really had Adam Cole in it as an original member. Fun facts, guys. And then Adam's going to hold the title and be a big bad guy. And that's how you end Wembley Stadium for All In.
Wow.
And then Britt and Adam are going to be so happy. And then I get to see them the following week. I love a full circle moment.
Wow. You'll all be celebrating gold all around. Bill, do you want to close it out? Would you like me to go first or would you like to go next?
Your show, Rob. You should be able to call. You should be selfish. You should go last.
I was going to say, you're the vet. I was going to bestow it to you, brother.
You go last. Because my theories are silly. I keep thinking about one guy we haven't seen in a long time, but he makes he had a couple headlines recently, and that's our old buddy Wardlow. What the fuck's that guy? And he's saying Max just holds me down. I mean, if Max is on top,
really?
Yeah, these are things that you would find on the internet, Rob, if you were on the internet all day like I am. So it's he's like, Max is in charge. I'm never going to be on top. I'm not going to have title reigns, and they have a bit of a beef. And what happens if Wardlow was a part of Adam Cole's entourage? What happens if Wardlow came out, a guy who, gosh, everyone loved? People thought he was going to fight Goldberg on this show. I mean, remember that was the thing? Warren knows. Mm-hmm. Two people, don't forget about Goldberg. Pepperidge Farm, Warren Hayes. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, I could see him getting involved and being the guy who comes out and take it, and Adam acts shocked because what is he doing here? Then he gives him the big old hug, bring it into Papa Cole, because it is Adam Cole's going to turn, because we did find the real Adam Cole, and Adam Cole has not been a singular top heel in AEW yet. He was adjacent to the elite. He did have the Hangman stuff, but he was adjacent to that. He wasn't the guy. Tony Khan is a big, like Bill Bodkin, is a big Adam Cole guy. And I think Adam Cole winning that one is a little bit of a fuck you to WWE. But it's also MJF is the biggest motherfucking babyface in all of pro wrestling. He, to me, is bigger than Cody Rhodes, because I'm sorry, Cody is, I know people like him, but what's he doing right now? I don't really know. I don't know. But so there's so many things that could happen here, but MJF has evolved into the Roddy Piper he's always wanted to be. He is the ultimate babyface. He's the ultimate heel, and he knows how to play everybody. And he's going to, like Warren said, he's going to have so much sympathy and it's going to be so awesome to watch Adam Cole hoist that belt up. Yeah. And so I think Adam Cole is going to take it by crook, and they're going to get pelted with shit.
Oh God.
People are going to throw shit in the ring.
It's going to be glorious.
It's going to be something else. It really is. And by the way, here's the thing, which is so great. And Warren, I know you've talked about you hate the skits and the vignettes and stuff like that.
I really do.
I fucking cannot get enough of them. You feed it to me like Sunday brunch. It's just like French toast.
I've got
like,
leftovers.
Oh, please send them to Jersey. I'm good. I'll eat them. Because it sent home the point that MJF has no friends. No one is coming to save him. Rob, you hate factions, but the point of this is all that he doesn't have a faction. He doesn't have friends. There is no one coming to save him ever. But the person who does will then be the next biggest babyface in the company. And I hope to God in heaven it's Eddie Kingston. Because fuck me. Yeah. MJF and Eddie Kingston as a babyface duo, gold.
There's an odd couple pairing right there.
And it'll work.
But you touched it.
By the way, those vignettes, cinema.
No, the vignettes stink. And terrible. MJF told me to grow a funny bone, and I told him no, they're terrible. And he tells me, well, that's because you have bad taste. All right, what do you want from me?
I also think the bloodline has been fucking played out for a year and a half.
Oh, so for sure. I mean, yes.
Boring as balls.
But just real quickly, the WrestleMania thing, though, that you mentioned, you're absolutely right. And you know what? Tony Khan is a wrestling nerd, right? He's one of us. He's that, like, for all of, we can criticize him, but, Mid-South Tony is a thing, and of course he knows about about the small stuff and, Vince not, of course it's at the very least, it has crossed Tony Khan's mind to have this finish so that Adam Cole could be like, oh, I didn't main event to WrestleMania, but hey, there you go. He would absolutely just book it because he can, kind of thing, and because it makes sense too. Don't get me wrong, but there you go.
Well, Rob, you said you have a lot to say about this, so close us out, man.
I'll keep it quick, guys. I'm gonna take. I'm gonna keep
time with it.
I'm gonna take all the facts. Like if there's running after running, I'm gonna hate. I mean, maybe it'll be good. I don't want that. These two are great dance partners. And I've enjoyed the vignettes.
Oh, that first match is great.
I was just gonna say the first match was there. The ending was perfect. The timing. I wanted it to go 5 more minutes. It's one of those things. Like, would I put it in my noms for match of the year? But because of the ending kind of thing, I'm not gonna get into all that. It was a good match, and it was good to see Adam Cole going full force. So we talk about what Adam Cole is or isn't going to do. MJF has done everything, including going on to Warren's live stream, and that shouldn't be brushed under the rug. I think that's amazing. To garner sympathy, to interact with the fans, he did the busted open sit down with Dave. He told his story about being bullying, and we're the devil's greatest thing. He convinced everybody he didn't exist. Yada yada. I'm not a poet, but he is. There's the skepticism of, when is he eventually? I better get a thumbs up, Bill. When is he eventually? There it is. When is he eventually going to stab him in the back? We saw the ring tonight. That's the story. Everyone on this panel is going Adam Cole. Adam Cole is going to be the one to turn. Aha. I don't think everything needs to be in this day and age clear cut face heel. I like it when people toe the line. Are we emotionally invested in MJF? Kinda. Do I want to believe him?
Very.
Kinda. What Bill said, I don't want the faction stuff, but the friend stuff. That's what stands out to me. Hey, I never had a friend. Like, I never had this. This is what I want. I don't know if I believe him or not. I want that to be real. Like, I want him to be like, hey, man, because if there is a betrayal, it's going to sting that much more and bring that sort of empathy.
Here's where you get both. You brought up the match they first had. and they went to a draw, and Cole begged for 5 more minutes, and he said no. What happens? We go back to the same thing, and MJF is just like, we're friends. We need a winner tonight. We're not leaving. And he does the babyface thing. Wembley's getting a winner tonight. 5 more minutes, and then this is where the betrayal of Adam Cole happens in those last 5 minutes.
I believe that. I'm into that.
Because
I like the callback.
That's when the Kingdom or Wardlow or whomever, or even a foreign object, or the belt, or something, or the diamond ring.
What if Adam Cole uses the diamond ring?
That's what I mean. He puts the diamond ring on. He knocks out MJF. Everyone comes out to celebrate, and he has betrayed. And I would love it if he holds the belt and he stands on MJF. I have won. That's how you do it, Rob. And the friendship thing is what sells it.
And as much as I don't want this to end, like, this is the place to end it. This is the don't miss the moment. I don't want to talk about WrestleMania or anything like that, but don't miss this moment. It's here in front of you. I think MJF can be whatever he wants to be on any given day. So I'm not going to say he's going to be a baby face. He's going to be heel after this. He's just going to be MJF. If he wants to sell t-shirts, he's going to sell t-shirts. If he wants to be a jerk, he's going to be a jerk. The fact that you said, Warren, this young and has the crowd in the palm of his hand, I'm buying this pay-per-view highly based on this storyline. The fact that they were shoehorned together, come on, bro. Like, but it's been great. You know, it's like random tag team, but wrestling. But it's been great so far. And talking about Adam Cole, when he was behind MJF setting up for that super kick, like, yeah, you know, you're teasing the tension, all that. But I saw that Adam Cole, that just like when his face, you know, usually has a hair pulled back and like the smile, buddy, blah, blah, and like the hair was down, you know, the sleeve is cut off. He's like I'm getting hyped. You know, he's getting in position and his face just drops. And I was like, I missed that. Like, I kind of missed that. And I don't know if the crowd's going to react. But he's always been that, like, if I think cool heel, I think Adam Cole, you know, we always talk about that cool heel. I think that's Adam Cole. So I'm almost positive, not to say Adam's going to be the one to turn or whatever, but Adam, it's about that title. I've picked him multiple times against Hangman Page to win that belt. I've been wrong every single time. I'm probably going to be wrong here. I think this is the moment where Adam Cole wins the Triple B, the AEW World Championship. Deservedly so. I think it's going to be a great story. And I'm here for this moment when he turns or whoever turns, whatever it is. But I don't think that moment's going to be in the pre-show. The pre-show is going to create tension. I do think they are going to lose. It's going to be interesting to see how they lose, if someone gets pinned, miscommunication, because that moment's going to be replayed over and over and over. And I think it needs to be main event. You need to have the crowd hot. I think that clip needs to be played over and over. Whenever he turns, it needs to be done to perfection, which it will be. I just hope not that they tease it through the whole match, but just the way we're guessing, I think they're going to play us to the very, very end. And then we have Roddy in the background. So he's so silly with the neck brace, but I'll give him credit. He's going to the con. He's going to the cons and stuff with the neck brace and meeting I think that's extra mile.
PWG.
Yeah, I love it. But he's so silly, and like I'm not. I don't want to get silly. I like Roddy,
silly wrestler.
When he came into AEW, I was like, yes, like this is what he needs to do. I loved it, and this is silly, but I think it's such a distraction that it's you know, he's going to play a part in this one way or another. I'm just really excited for this heel Adam. There's no reason to keep him babyface. You know what I'm saying? I think this has been a great story. I've enjoyed all of it. The little bits I think have been brilliant. The little segments. The thing with Giovanni. I could go on and on. I am very, very excited for this one. I do think Adam Cole, baby, walks out your AEW World Champion, and I'm here for it.
Makes a lot of sense to me. You know, you said it yourself. You know, it's like MJF. He's so young, and you know, doing everything he can. However, you know, I've been told multiple times that Dominic is such a great young wrestler, though. That
he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's like a second gen Eric Watts.
Gosh.
Greg
yeah.
Gagne, maybe.
Oh, don't insult Greg like that.
All right, guys. Hey, all right, let's get out of here, guys. We did a great job. Thank you guys for doing this. This has been one of the most fun podcasts I've done in a long time. I'm very hyped for this one. But before we get out of here, we are all about that shameless promo. Warren, tell everyone about your amazing show. I'm a big fan.
The Mr. Warren Hayes Show, a pro wrestling podcast. That's the official title now, because turns out SEO is better when you add in, the keywords that people search for in your title, as opposed to calling it the Mr. Warren Hayes Show, because no one searches for the Mr. Warren Hayes Show.
I learned that one too, brother.
You can check it out on youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes. We record live on Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, right then and there. Otherwise, if you can't make it, that's fine. The video on demand is available the next day, and also available as a podcast on your favorite podcast application of choice. So I do that. I also do AEW Dynamite and Collision reviews on Thursdays and Sundays, respectively. I will not be doing a Collision review this Sunday, because by the time I get everything out, it'll be a moot point. Everyone will be, it'll all be, we know what happens, Warren. It doesn't matter. Okay, thank you. And I also write articles over at Voices of Wrestling. If you want to go check that out, I recently put up a couple of reviews there for some shows. So voicesofwrestling.com if you want to see the written word as well. But come find me on the podcast, youtube.com/Mr. Warren Hayes, or search for it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc., etc. But thank you, though, so much, Rob, for having me again. It is always a pleasure to come share some space with Kimmy, you, and Bill. I appreciate it tremendously. Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother. A lot of fun. And you don't need to review Collision, because that card is just everyone all mixed together. I don't want to get into it. But again, we got a pay-per-view to worry about. Kimmy, what do you got?
What don't I do? I'm going to Chicago and I'm working with Britt. I don't know what I'm doing Friday. So if you're going to StarCast, say hi. I write for Bill sometimes. All the time. I write Ring of Honor stuff. I have something else to write for Bill at some point tomorrow. And I podcast about Ring of Honor when I also have time for that. But the summer has dragged me out, and I have no time for anything anymore, which makes me really sad. And you can follow me on Twitter at Kimmy_Sokol, and that's about all I do in the world.
She's graduated college. She's an adult now. It gets worse. Bill, what do you got for us, bro?
Oh, so much worse. Hey, it's me, Bill Bodkin, at Bodkin Writes on X. Yep, that's the first time you ever see me on X. So, yep, you can follow me there. But most importantly, check out thepopbreak.com. We'll be celebrating 14 years this September. So very stoked about that. Check us out every single day. Got great stuff coming up. We're doing a lot of stuff with Ahsoka. We've had some really wild concert stuff we've been shooting. So yeah, go check all that out. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Blue Sky, YouTube, and Facebook at The Pop Break. I also am the host of multiple podcasts. The Socially Distanced podcast drops every single Friday on all your favorite streaming platforms. We're going to be starting our Ahsoka review series with BCP fave Amanda Rivas in the driver's seat, which is awesome that I don't have to host. Also Amanda knows everything about Star Wars. So then I do Anchored and Asbury, which is a musical interview podcast that comes up once a month on the Pop Break Today feed. I am the Bill in the Bill versus the MCU podcast, which is an MCU rewatch podcast, or in my case, first watch. We are currently in our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. rewatch, where we are doing select episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because Jesus jumping Christ, I cannot watch 25 episode seasons. I am a busy man. And then I also do the TV break over on Pop Break TV, where we talk about all the latest ins and outs of the television industry. So yeah, go check out Pop Break and everything I'm doing over there.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., solid show, moments of brilliance, and then it kind of falls flat, but moments of brilliance. I digress.
Yeah, well,
guys,
we're doing the all hits, no misses.
There you go. I love it, man. And guys, thank you for staying up or watching. Well, I'm watching the recording, but guys, like we always say here on the BCP, everyone stay safe, stay positive, take care of each other. We out. Scissor me, Daddy Bill.